We tend to think of our skeleton as this dry, static frame, something that's just kind of there, right? But what if I told you it's one of the most dynamic, living tissues in your entire body? That it's constantly changing, adapting, and literally rebuilding itself from the inside out. Today, we're digging into the secret life of your bones.
So let me just start with a question for you. Is the skeleton you have right now the exact same one you were born with? The answer, well, it's probably not what you think. And by the end of this, you're going to see exactly why the answer is a huge, resounding no. All right, let's dive in. To really get our heads around the skeleton as a living system, we've got to start with the basics, right? The big picture. The blueprint of what our bones are actually doing for us day in and day out. Now, you probably remember some of this from biology class. The skeleton gives us support. It's our body's scaffolding. Check. It's like a mineral bank, storing crucial stuff like calcium. Got it. It's a factory, deep inside, churning out our blood cells. It's our personal suit of armor, protecting the really important organs like our brain and heart. And yeah, it's a system of levers that lets us move. But honestly, those 5 things are just scratching the surface. It's not the whole story.
See, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. A better way to think about it is less like simple scaffolding and more like a highly specialized toolkit where every single bone is a custom tool shaped perfectly for the job it has to do. And you can totally see what I mean right here. You've got these long bones, like your femur. They're built for leverage, for power. Then you've got flat bones, like your ribs, which are basically plates of armor. You've even got these little short bones in your wrist for all those complex movements. And then these wilder regular bones, like your vertebrae. I mean, each one is its own unique piece of a giant puzzle. Okay, so that's the whole toolkit. Now let's grab one of those tools off the rack and put it under a microscope. Let's see what's really going on inside. So what you're looking at here is a slice right through a typical long bone. That long central part is the diaphysis, and those kind of bulbous ends, those are the epiphyses, where our joints form. And deep inside that shaft is the medullary cavity, and that's where all the bone marrow hangs out. But the real story, the amazing part, is the bone tissue itself. And here's where it gets really cool. You've basically got a tale of 2 different tissues. On the outside, there's compact bone. It's super dense, really solid. Think of it like the wall of a fortress. But on the inside, that's spongy bone. And it looks just like a honeycomb. This incredible network that's ridiculously strong, but also super lightweight. Seriously, this combination of a hard outer shell and a strong, light core, it's an absolute engineering masterpiece. Okay, so the most important thing to get here is that this is not just dead, inert material. Not at all. If we could zoom in even further, way past these layers, what we'd find is basically a bustling city. It's full of canals and tunnels and connections, and it's teeming with living cells. So, let's meet the residents. Okay, this is where the real magic happens. Deep down in the bone, there's this microscopic crew of cells, and they are working 24/7. They're communicating, they're maintaining the whole structure. This, right here, is the truly living part of your skeleton. And here's the team. First up, you've got the osteoblasts. These are your builders laying down all the material to create new bone. Then you've got the osteoclasts. They're the demolition crew. Their job is to break down and haul away the old, worn-out bone. Once the job is done, the osteocytes take over. They're like the on-site managers, just making sure everything is maintained and in good shape. And of course, we have the osteoprogenitor cells. Think of them as the apprentices, stem cells just waiting to get the call to become new builders. So what is this whole crew up to all day? Are they just waiting around for a disaster? Nope. They don't just show up when something breaks. They are on the job 24/7, running a nonstop remodeling project that lasts your entire life. This whole process has a name. It's called bone remodeling, and it's this constant dance, right? The demolition crew, the osteoclasts, clear out the old stuff, and the builders, the osteoblasts, come right in behind them to lay down fresh new bone. And this isn't just for fixing things, it's everyday maintenance. Get this, over the course of about a decade, this process replaces pretty much your entire skeleton. So circling back to our first question, no, this is absolutely not the skeleton you were born with. But why? Why does this happen constantly? Well, the guiding principle is something called Wolff's Law. Basically, it just means that your bones adapt to the stress you put on them. Your body is smart. It's constantly reinforcing your skeleton precisely where you need it most, all based on your daily activities.
And this is Wolff's Law in action. Every time you exercise or even just walk around, you're putting mechanical stress on your bones. And that stress, it's like a signal to that microscopic crew, telling them, hey, we need reinforcements over here. And so the builders get to work, making the bone thicker and stronger right where that force is hitting. Your skeleton is literally, actively reshaping itself all the time to better support you.
Okay, so we've seen the day-to-day maintenance, but what about when there's a real emergency? Probably the most dramatic example of this whole living remodeling power is when a bone actually breaks. So let's see how this construction crew handles a full-blown crisis.
The repair process is this amazing 4-step construction project. First, the moment it breaks, a blood clot, a hematoma, forms to stop the bleeding. Second, the body builds a soft callus out of cartilage to bridge the gap, like a temporary biological scaffold. Third, the builders show up in force and replace that soft scaffold with a hard, bony callus. And finally, the whole crew comes in to remodel that bony patch, often making that spot on the bone even stronger than before the break. And you can see the whole beautiful process laid out right here. You go from that initial blood clot to the soft callus, then the hard bony callus, and finally, a fully remodeled bone. It's just an incredible display of the body's natural genius for organizing, repairing, and regenerating itself, all thanks to that same tiny crew we met a few minutes ago. So there you have it. Your skeleton isn't a static object. It's a living, adaptable system that's constantly responding to your life and has this profound capacity to heal itself. The next time you think about your bones, don't just picture a frame. Picture this dynamic, lifelong construction project. And my final question for you is, what does that incredible power happening inside you right now tell you about the resilience that is literally built into your very core?